Hello, all you beautiful humans. Welcome to Menopause and Madness. I'm April Rain, your hostess with the mostest, and welcome to my midlife crisis. Okay, today I'm getting ready to do a Temu haul. Yay! And I wanted to talk about a couple things because it has come up. Um, what I want to talk about is my other channel, and it will be linked down below. And the other channel is not, I'm not telling you this because I want subscribers or likes. It's the opposite. It is the opposite. The last 3 years, minus the last year being here, so 3 years before that, have were absolute hell, um, for me and Lonnie and Bodie. And we had to move from our home. Our landlord had passed away, and her estranged son, took over the property and he wanted to sell it. So, we were on 10 acres, and it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. I miss it. So we had had these friends for about 8 years, and they had asked us if we had wanted to come and rent their, well, be roommates, but we chose to, they had a 455-foot garage space that had already been converted into, it was finished. So there had already been other people like having that space as their room. And that is the area that we chose because having Bodie, he's a 100-pound dog, and just wanting that room. We were offered, rooms in the house, and it's just, and the garage was connected. It's connected. We had a door that we walked right into the house, and but these people were our friends for about 8 years before this, and not just friends, family. They would tell us, "Please call us family. We love you." Holidays, fishing, barbecues. I mean, it was like that. It was like that, and when we after we had decided that, because we couldn't find a rental to save our souls, it was as it is now. It was just horrible. And we ended up moving in there. And then when the landlord, who was our friend, his mother lived there also. And so it's such a long story. It's so many questions, and I do understand that, but I really feel I need to explain this because after posting those videos, which I did as a way to, I wanted people to see how these people behave towards us. And what it was our landlord, our friend, who was also the homeowner, had got back with an ex-girlfriend that was shady AF. And it's no joke. If I could explain the whole story, y'all would be like, yep, yep. And she was a gold digger. She just, the whole reason she wasn't even there is because she left him to be with two other guys. So all that drama, right? Well, she wants to move back in, and she wants to bring all of her homeless family, her daughter, her daughter's boyfriend, her mother, and herself. And they want our space. And Lonnie and I are smart enough that when we enter into any kind of roommate situation, we have a, solid agreement, so that we are protected, they are protected. I mean, we just know better to do that. Well, this girl had him totally, like, all I could say is by the balls. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She is just shady. Her family was shady, and it was a bad deal. So all of a sudden, he turns around overnight and says, "We want you to leave." Just like that. "We want you to leave." And this is in 2020. Lonnie had just been laid off of his job of years working at this. He was working at a mushroom farm. He did all sort of things. He's the boiler guy. He also ran a lot of machinery. What his job was to keep the machines running, to keep the farm running. Anyway, he had just gotten laid off. Like, it just happened just like that. And my disability and what I make from my business is just isn't enough. I haven't had my Etsy shop up for very long, and my items are very simple, blah blah blah. Anyways, they figured that if they tortured us, we would leave because they know legally that they couldn't, evict us or anything like that. So they would torture us and torture Bodhi, and the amount of narcissism that came out was insane. They smeared us all over the Nextdoor app. They told people that Lonnie was a pedophile, which it was just the word. The word, use that word, and what are going to be people's responses to that? We live in a heavily military area. Everybody's got guns. Lonnie was terrified to walk Bodhi outside because of these words they were throwing around for no other reason than to just smear us and have people hurt us. So, so much happened, and for months. And finally, I was like, I'm going to start recording this because, we need to document this. And they were ugly, ugly screaming matches, just bull. You know what I'm saying? Just bull. And this is what some of these videos are. I took quite a few videos down because we were approached by Neighborhood Wars, a producer from Neighborhood Wars, and we did a full interview, and we have a segment that will be on their fifth season, I think, and I don't know when that is going to be, but that was the only reason I was leaving my other channel open, was because there was people that really liked those videos, and I wanted it as a way so people could see that we weren't the bad guys, but these videos, we almost look like we are because we're screaming, we're totally going down to their level. It is just a huge mess. So, warning, there is a lot of bad language, a lot of yelling and screaming, and just, I am completely embarrassed by these videos. So, yeah, I am very much embarrassed. But I do know that that channel's out there, and I want to be able to explain before, people start going there and being like, what is this craziness, And we ended up having to get a lawyer. We had a group of lawyers that took our case. At one point, they had put a "Beware of Monkey" sign on our door, as I am a mixed Black woman. And the Attorney General of Washington State stepped in and told them that is a hate crime, and you need to, take that down right now, or there's going to be charges brought up. So of course they took it down right now. They thought it was just hilarious. I mean, and all of the things they would do. There was a lot of noise harassment and torture for Bodhi. They would bounce a racquetball. There's this guy who didn't have a job, didn't have anything else better to do than to bounce a racquetball on a wooden floor from 5 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the morning. And that is, I mean, I recorded everything. I recorded everything. They put a Ring camera in the wall, on the garage where our bed was set up, and the microphone was on the inside of the wall. He put cameras up all over inside of the house, um, pointed right at our door and at the bathroom where our bathroom downstairs was. They intimidated us, and because when you live in a shared space, you have common areas, which the shower and the kitchen are two of those areas. And they told us, you can't use the kitchen anymore, and you can't use the shower upstairs. So they were very intimidating. Lonnie was afraid that they would try to push me down the stairs if I would try to go up there. So we would have to go to a friend's house to shower, and we would have to buy food every day because they wouldn't allow us to cook in the kitchen. Now, these are only some of the things that went on, and the reasons why you see me and Lonnie just lose our mind. Living, or not living, because we were living in the house, like roommates, but our space was the garage space. And the door, it was like a big, the metal type door. And they would go out there and they would throw basketballs up against the door, which sounded like lightning and thunder. And there's a video on there that shows what this does to Bodhi, where he's almost in convulsions. And in one of the most popular video where the neighbor gets involved because she don't have nothing better to do, and she has small children, they involved all these small children into this harassment. They and we had lived there a year before any of this drama happened, before this chick came and wanted to destroy our lives, right? And so we knew these children, passing by every day. We were in like a development, where you have townhouses that look exactly the same, 5 feet away from each other. And so in one of the most popular videos, you see the neighbor. She is out there with her child bouncing a ball off of the garage door when she lives in the very next house that has the very same driveway and garage door. She brings her son's little basketball toy over to the driveway. Now, the police were involved. They were called, yes, many, many, many times. We ended up having to get 2 different restraining orders against the landlord because he broke the first one by assaulting Lonnie, and then the state put a 1,000-foot restraining order on him. He went to jail numerous times for breaking the restraining order and for just everything. So when you go over, please keep all this stuff in mind. There is so much more to it than just the videos and me and Lonnie screaming and me screaming, not thinking properly. I stooped down to their levels. We couldn't take it anymore. And we knew that, we're not violent people, but there's times that, we could have thrown hands, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't, because we didn't want to be in trouble. We knew that if we did anything like that, we would be in trouble. But the police did tell us that we could use any form necessary to protect ourselves. So I was literally walking to the bathroom with a taser gun. And yeah, it was really horrible. So the name of the channel is called The Evil Within Us. And when I thought of that, I thought because we all have evil within us. It's how we decide to act and react. And we didn't react well. But in the most popular video, where she is doing this to Bodhi, we were at our end. Bodhi already has severe anxiety. And you hear her just say the most outrageous things. You hear her son say he doesn't want to be there, and then he runs away, and she just continues for 20 minutes to run her mouth. And she talks about all different kinds of things she doesn't know, like things like she mentions that, oh, we've been sorry about that. We looked you up and you've been evicted from every place you've lived in, which is totally not true. We have no evictions, not even from that place. That place, we won all of our cases. We had 3 different cases. We won all 3, and we left that place on our own accord, on our own time, and we had good cops that came and really bad cops that would say, why don't you live in your car? And we weren't going to do that. We were not going to do that. COVID was at its highest. I'm disabled. Lonnie had to work, and then he had to find other work, and we had Bodhi, and it just, honestly, I feel like I shouldn't have to explain, but when I posted all that stuff, there was so many questions. So many people came at us saying we were the bad guys because we wouldn't leave the house. I mean, when you have no family and your only friends live in a tiny little 1 bedroom with their 2 cats and have no room for you, but still offer to give you a place to go to, which is so kind, they're so great. You have nowhere to go, and I was not going to end up being one of the people on the streets. That, it just, we were paying our rent until he stopped taking our rent, which there's actually a video of him denying our rent, which is against the law. I mean, I'm not going to go on about all the laws and everything. just know that if you do go and watch this, I am not looking for any kind of support on that channel at all. Please, I the only thing left that I'm going to do is when the show comes out, I'm going to put the clip on there for the people that have followed for so long and want to see that clip, um, or the show or whatever. And then that's going to be it. That's going to be it. I'm not going to take it down. But, after everything they did to us, smearing us, they smeared us with, all over the Nextdoor app. I mean, I have so many screenshots of just the ridiculous, horrible stuff. I mean, she called me out, calling me the Rachel Dolezal or whatever that chick's name that faked being black and ended up being like the head of the NAACP or one of those organizations. If you're not familiar with her, I can't say her name right, but it was a woman that faked being black, and they called me out saying that I was like her in front of all these people on this app, and it was the most humiliating type of feeling. I ended up, you know, I don't even know. But if you have questions, please ask your questions. I will answer them the best of my ability. There is a video over there that tries to explain a little bit more. Um, but I wanted to put this out there because I don't want people to think that I'm like trying to hide it or anything like that. It's ridiculous. It's done. And Lonnie and I are working very hard on letting it go because it affected my PTSD 150%, and just I'm still suffering from it, from the things that they had done. So also I wanted to say that I will be putting the link to my Etsy shop in the description box at the bottom. If you ever want to look, I make natural candles, balms. There's only a few products on there. It's all very simple. It's very good, but it's not meant to be fancy. It's not fancy packaging. It's just what it is, which is good support for your body. Anyway, so that'll be down there too. And that, if you want to check it out or whatever, thank you so much, Barb. Your package is on it. Your order is on its way. Also, the winners, to Laura from Favorites with Laura. She was the winner of the haul before last. And then we have, of the congratulations to Tammy. She is the winner of the last haul. And then after I'm all done with this video, I will be doing another Temu haul. Not a very long one, but it's going to be a fun one. So please stick around. Remember, if you have any questions about that other channel, just shoot me the questions and I will answer them honestly. And yeah. So there's that. It's a huge mess. I could sit here and speak for hours and not, be able to tell the whole story of how it was. But like I said, I am embarrassed. I'm embarrassed of my behavior. I'm embarrassed of my language. So please don't hold it too much against me. Thank you for listening to this video. And yeah, stay tuned because I got Temu coming up. Please be kind humans.